Friends, today is comfort day. It's all about banana bread, both classic banana bread and the ultimate banana bread. Both my favorites. You cannot say you have one favorite because they are both delicious. We're gonna go through steps on each one on how to make it even better than the most nostalgic banana bread in your life. That's with brown butter in this one. This one is gonna have tahini and chocolate, but it comes together in such a beautiful way that you really are gonna love both of these banana breads. And you're gonna see that brown bananas are a gift, and we are so lucky when we have them because we can make these right here. So let's get started. When it comes to a classic banana bread, I think the thing that's hard is we all have a different version of that. We have a memory that this is the banana bread we need. And what I like about this one is, I think it hits all those spots. It has the right amount of moisture. We're gonna give it a little bit more depth of flavor, and that's gonna start with butter that is not just melted, we're gonna brown it. Because when we brown butter, and I'm just gonna put this over medium-low heat, when we brown butter, it actually caramelizes the milk solids in it, and it makes it have a nutty flavor, which really transforms the whole butter. And when you put it into this, it just works really well with the brown sugar, brings out more notes. So, bananas. One of the most important parts of banana bread. Now, I like them to get super ripe. And if you're gonna be like my grandma, and she always knew best, when she had ones that were getting really ripe, she would put them in the freezer. She would peel them first. Sometimes she would mash them first because that way all the work was going to be done. But sometimes she didn't want to make banana bread right away. And she is someone that made banana bread almost every week. And I have her recipe on my website. So this is a little bit different than hers. This is more of a classic one. Hers was a little different than this, but she taught me that a good banana needs to be nice and brown. It has needed a lot of browning spots because bananas are continuing to ripen. So even if they have a bad spot on them, don't let that worry you. You want that. What you want is to make sure the sugar content is high, because that's gonna give you more flavor, more sweetness, all the goodness. So what I'm gonna do is put them right into a bowl and I'm just gonna start mashing them. Honestly, you want them very well mashed. And if they brown a little bit while you're doing it, that's okay. Everything's gonna be pushed together. But do you hear what I hear? I don't know if you can hear this. This has been sizzling. So when butter is beginning to melt, you're gonna get the foaming, you're gonna get sizzling all the way around the edges. Very normal, but you just wanna watch. You don't wanna let it burn. So I do wanna melt it first evenly, so I'll just not stir it, but swirl it a few times. Once it's fully melted, it takes a little longer than you think. It can take 4 to 6 minutes, and in that time, eventually the foaming and that sizzle will get kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden, it's gonna start turning brown and you're gonna smell it. And that's when you know it's done. At the end of brown butter, it goes really fast and you don't want it to burn. So instantly I was starting to smell it. And if you swirl it, you're starting to see these brown bits in it. And you can kind of see them on the sides of the pan a little bit. So I don't want it to get too dark, so I'm really watching it, swirling it, but all of a sudden now I'm seeing the brown, and I think you will too, as it works up from the bottom into the foam. So I'm gonna let this just sit here, cool off a little bit, but I know so many of you know, the smell is intoxicating. I can't get over brown butter. I think it's wonderful. Now, I did measure the banana and it didn't have quite enough. I don't like to just say 2 bananas, 3 bananas, because I like to give an amount, because you never know how big a banana is. And they do, you know, some recipes you see, they say like 2 bananas. And it's like, well, what if they're small or what if they're big? So measure them. So I measured this, put it back in here, and then needed some more banana, so I'm mashing that up. So while that butter is melting, we can add a few more things. We're gonna add some eggs, because that's gonna give us the structure. Now, the one thing I will say, I love my grandma's banana bread, and growing up, it was the only banana bread I ever really had because she made it all the time, but it was a drier banana bread, more bread-like. So this, on the other hand, is one of the more, I call it classic because it's what a lot of people expect. It has a lot more moisture content to it, and that makes it kind of just melt in your mouth. So we have a little bit of sour cream. That's gonna add that moisture, add that richness a little bit to it, which I do think makes a huge difference. And it just depends what your preference is, but there's nothing at all wrong with loving that kind of moist banana bread. And that's exactly what this is gonna be. Vanilla, you know I make my own, so I keep it in the big container instead of decanting it into something smaller. And this batch, I have to say, so much flavor. So we're gonna whisk this, making sure we get those egg yolks worked into the bananas. You know, this isn't really rocket science. You're just making sure everything is very well incorporated. And the reason we didn't add the hot butter right away was because hot butter with eggs is gonna actually just cook them at first. So what I'm gonna do too is make sure I add my sugar first, because again, it's gonna help temper and not make so those eggs would just cook with that hot butter. So once I'm working this in, I can slowly drizzle in, and do you see all those brown bits now? Look at all of that flavor. I'm just gonna slowly drizzle this in since it was warm, and that will just kind of temper it in without cooking anything. And the one thing I never wanna waste is all of those browned bits from the milk solids that are from in that butter. That's where all that flavor, all that fragrance that we're loving is coming from. And you really wanna make sure those work in, because that's really where the special part of this is. So to finish this off, we of course need some flour. That's gonna give it the actual structure here. So we're gonna make sure we do always the same method, right? We're scooping and swiping off, because we're overfilling instead of packing it in. If you have too much flour in something, you really are gonna notice in the outcome. And yes, you could weigh your flour, but you know what? I grew up in the Midwest. We did not grow up with that. There are some recipes now, like when I make sourdough, I do weigh it, but old habits die hard. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. You need the salt, especially since there's a lot of sweetness in here, and you wanna bring out all the flavors you can, and then some baking soda. And we're gonna put all that right in there and just make sure it's very well combined. It smells so good. That's the great thing about banana bread. It's almost the equalizer. I feel like everyone loves banana bread. Everyone loves kind of that comfort it gives. So I am gonna line the pan, it's just a traditional loaf pan, with parchment. And when I do that, I have the pre-cut sheets, but then I just kind of fold to know my sizing I need. Roughly, don't make it perfect. Make one crease. And I have this sprayed once, but then I see I need it just a little bit more. But then I will spray the parchment too. I just always think it's added assurance. This is just a parchment sling so it comes out of the pan very easily. It's not that you have to do it. I just think it's like kind of that added insurance, and I just crease it here at the top too. You can pull it out then a little bit easier. But I do like to spray the pan and the parchment itself a little bit, just because I think it makes it make sure. So now what we're gonna do is pour this right in here, and yes, it makes a nice big loaf, but you know what? That's exactly what you want. You want that richness in it. You want everything just to kind of come together. And what we're gonna do is make sure it's self-leveling. This you can see is a batter as opposed to a stiff dough. So it self-levels. You don't have to worry too much about it being even. And as many times as I've done this, you would think it would get really easy to do this backwards. It isn't, so I have to readjust there. And I will do always. You guys know this about me. I will make sure I get everything out of this pan, or out of this bowl, because I do not want to waste it. And there's still just a little bit in there. Once it's in there, you can see it's a nice full loaf, but we're gonna pop this right into the oven. And it takes a while to bake because it's a big loaf and it's moist. And you wanna make sure it's done with the steward test at the end. So what we're gonna do is pop it in and bake. So we have the one baking, and while it's baking, we're gonna work on the ultimate banana bread. I would just like to give options, because if you're like me, there's things in your life that you like to sometimes switch up and change. This is a take on the classic banana bread, but just turning it up a notch. If you wanna have a little bit more nuance to it, a little bit more flavor, starting very traditional like the other one. Bananas mashed, we're gonna add the eggs. Again, same process, same reason. We need the structure. We wanna make sure it has the right amount of moisture. So I'm gonna work those eggs in just because I wanna talk about one of the fun ingredients. There's a few extra ingredients in this, but one of my favorite ones is tahini. Now, tahini is a paste or nut butter, but a seed butter made from sesame seeds. And what I love about it is it has this depth of flavor that has a savory quality to it, but also can work really well with sweets. So we are gonna add some tahini. Now, if you're wondering why, I think it plays so well with the flavors that we're putting together here. Like I said, it balances out some of the sweetness that banana sometimes can have. To me, it just adds this whole other element that leaves you saying there is something special about this that you can't even always place, and it has a depth to it that is really unmatched. And so it's something I really love, and when I first had this, I started working on my own because I was like, I need to figure out a way to incorporate this, and instantly you get almost a nutty smell from it too. So think of the idea of brown butter, but a completely different flavor, and that's what we're doing here. So we have this time just melted butter, as opposed to brown butter. We don't want those flavors to compete. We are doing it already with the tahini we're adding. We're also gonna add chocolate, so we don't need too many competing flavors here. So instead, we just want the melted butter so it makes sure it has that same amount of moisture that we want, that same kind of melt in your mouth quality. I mean, honestly, obviously, I'm already hungry, my mouth is watering. We're gonna add a little bit of vanilla again. I think vanilla and banana bread need to go together, and it really does kind of bring out all that flavor. You know, there is a classic dessert made with tahini, and it's halva, and that has a lot of sweetness, but still has that kind of savory undertone, and it's so good if you ever can find that. So now to this, we're gonna again do brown sugar. So you're gonna still get those caramelly notes. You're gonna get kind of that same kind of flavor you want out of it. So we're gonna put that right in, and it's gonna add that denseness too that we really love. And I wanna make sure I mix that in first, just kind of into the wet, just because it makes sure it incorporates a little bit easier and it doesn't get, you know, not worked in well because of the flour. And we're gonna do the same thing where we overfill, just swipe it off. You don't wanna add too much flour, you wanna add just that right amount. And then we're gonna do the exact same salt and baking soda. And so I'm gonna make sure I get my soda here. You know, sometimes when you put it in a bulk container, leveling it off isn't as easy. So we're gonna put it in like that. We're gonna put our salt in. You still need that salt to balance everything out. And then we can mix it really well until it's combined. So you can see that's very well combined. That's exactly what we want. And now to make this a little bit more ultimate again, we have chocolate. Now you could do chocolate chips. I like the bigger irregular pieces. So I like to take chocolate bars, a good quality chocolate, and I do bittersweet just because I want that, you know, a little bit more of a bitterness to it. And I'm doing kind of irregular, you can see them, nothing's perfect. And I want them to be like that. I want some shards, there'll be some smaller pieces in that, but this to me gives me that exact amount of unique texture to it that I want. So when it sits in there and it melts, and then you take slices of it, you're gonna get beautiful pockets of chocolate. I mean, what could be better than that? It's just kind of a nice way to up something. And I think, again, since we're calling it ultimate, I'm calling it ultimate. That's what you wanna make sure it is. You wanna make sure it's something that's actually kind of special, that it actually has a reason that it's being called that. And I think taking the chocolate and giving yourself, like you could do this in cookies too, and that again ups the special kind of quality of a cookie. Unlike, you know, my grandma, when she did cookies, she did chocolate chips, and she didn't put them in until the end, and she would count them for each cookie so no one could argue that someone got more chocolate chips than them. This is not like that. Now we just need to bake it. Of course you could leave the chocolate chips out. Why would you do that? Unless you don't like chocolate, which let's talk about that. So pour this right in. Make sure to, again, it's gonna level out. It is full, but remember, this is not one that grows as much in the oven. It will go up a little bit, but then it actually, when it cools, kind of falls back in on itself, which is what you want. Okay, we're gonna bake this, and then we are going to let them cool, but we're gonna compare the two so you can see the difference between these two banana breads and really why you should make them both. They're out of the oven. They obviously need a long time to cool. Now you could cut these down and put them into 2 pans and make a smaller loaf. I like a nice big loaf. Before we cut into them, we have the classic here, delicious. We have the ultimate here, delicious. I'm going to go one extra step. So I melted some chocolate with some coconut oil to give it that really good viscosity. I'm gonna add some more tahini to it. So this is just, you know, if you're going to the extra effort of making something that's maybe extra special, we're gonna maybe finish it off in a really good way. So we're gonna add some tahini right into this melted chocolate. We're gonna add a little bit of honey just to sweeten it. I like the texture of the honey working with the chocolate and the tahini in here. And then of course you need a little bit of salt because you wanna make sure it has that nice kind of edge to it. So we're just gonna stir this together. And what's interesting, by the way, about tahini, while you think it's just another liquid, it actually will firm it up a little bit. So you can tell it has a little bit different texture when you add it, and that's exactly what it should. Now, of course, if it's too soft or if your chocolate was still really hot when you did this, you can just let it cool off, put it in the fridge even for a little bit. But the whole point here is just to encompass it. I mean, look at this. And it's going to go over the sides depending how warm it is, or if your bread is still warm. But that's kind of what we want. And so I'm gonna let it come from the center, and it will cool off, obviously, when it gets fully cool. But I'm gonna let it just kind of come down the sides a little bit, just kind of encompass that whole thing, because it's that extra step that really does make it extra good. And while this is cooling, we're gonna cut in here to the other one. And I say cooling, but you know me, I'm not really gonna let it cool that much. We're just gonna try it right away because why not? We have the first one here, the classic. See how easy that sling was? That was that parchment, came out so perfectly. We can just go in, cut nice big pieces. I mean, look at that. Does that not look, I'm gonna cut a couple just so you can really see the interior, because I always think that first one's kind of not always the best representation, but look at that. See the moistness in there? It has just that perfect texture. It smells so good. That nutty brown butter, it really does come out a little bit, not overwhelming. Banana bread, I shouldn't keep eating because it'll be hard to swallow. It's like a hug. You're instantly transformed, like I think you're transported into whatever best food memory you have, maybe your grandma's kitchen, maybe someone who took care of you, because that's what banana bread feels like. It feels like you're being taken care of, and that's exactly what we want. It has the perfect level of moisture, has that great texture. It's everything I want, and more, because it really is that good. So I'm gonna transfer this one, because I'm not gonna wait until it cools, who are we kidding? Right to here. I'm gonna let my hands get dirty probably when I do this, but we'll just kind of cut a nice thick slice here. Look at that. You still get some soft chocolate because I took it out when it was still, you know, I took out the pan, it was still a little warm, and it's still a little warm now. So you're still gonna have nice kind of soft chocolate in it, which to me, how does this not look so good? You have the same texture, but look at those big pieces of chocolate. You wouldn't have that if you didn't cut it yourself. That's what I think is wonderful about it. Okay, I wanna keep eating. I don't wanna play favorites. So I'm gonna let you decide which one you like better. I like chocolate, so it's really hard. But this one is so just like nostalgic classic. This one is just slightly turned up in a way that's like, ooh, that's special. Them together, what day could be better? So here's what I hope you do. I hope you take the elements that I did and see how easy, we know this already, banana bread is easy, but it's also easy to make it even better than maybe what you're used to. The brown butter in this case, the chocolate and tahini in this case. Make this into smaller loaves, give it a gift. You know what, it freezes beautifully because it has so much moisture. So as always, share the love around. Share the bread, share the recipe. Check my website, wyseguide.com, for the full recipe on both of these, where you can print them off, use them time and again, and they can become part of your family favorite. That is the whole point. And as always, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, because that's my favorite part. Enjoy.